Good afternoon. This is Afternoon Sky. I'm your host, Sky. Let's get right into it. Lamar Odom, another DUI. Another DUI stop. He's been going through it since at least 2013, 2016, when he had multiple heart attacks and strokes because he allegedly took a drink that was laced with some kind of drug, and he was incapacitated. He was completely knocked out. He was in a coma for 4 days. Um, this is all during the time period of him being in a relationship with Khloe Kardashian. She actually stood by his side before they got divorced. So it's a very serious kind of situation. I just want to talk mainly about his ideas on wellness centers. He owns a few wellness centers, rehabilitation centers around I think the Los Angeles area in California. I think this is beautiful. There should be privatized um, centers, clinics for people to go to get off of drugs and alcohol. That's one of the greatest things. I've had experience with people who had drugs and alcohol addiction. It's very serious. There's a lot of jokes around it, ha ha he he, but when it comes down to it, this is like a desperation thing. It's a very sad thing at the same time. I always look at it like, usually this is the case. It's like somebody gets strung out on drugs or alcohol, they hit rock bottom. There's only the only place to go is up. So they usually extend themselves. They usually go into college, or they take courses and they become counselors, and they get paid $140,000 a year. They're just hugging a bottle, or nursing a needle, or snorting some powder, and now they're got their life back together. It's the weirdest thing. It's just strange thing that's always struck me. It always made me interested in the entire affairs of people that have addictions. And Lamar Odom is no different. He's no exception. He was in a brothel, and he picked up a drink, and he thought it was just a regular alcoholic beverage, and it was allegedly laced with something, and it just knocked him out. Just 4 days in a coma, and multiple strokes, multiple heart attacks that occurred during that time period. Very sad stuff. And now, up to this date, in 2026, he's getting pulled over for his uh, inability to properly function as a once recovered addict. It looks like he's back at it again. Very sad situation, very troubling, very controversial kind of thinking, because he didn't have to go out like this. He could have, you know, stayed home. If he was going to do the alcohol, which he probably shouldn't have done, just stay home. Or if he's going to pick up the keys, leave the bottle down. Put the bottle down on the dresser and don't pick it up. So for him to get a DUI again, it's just a really a sad shame. It's just a really a distressing moment for him, and it reflects horribly on his mind state. He's a multimillionaire, got 2 championships with the Lakers, has probably could snatch up any woman he wanted, any female he wanted. Could probably lives a very luxurious high life, no pun intended. You look like Benedict Cumberbatch. Cumberpatch? That's the first one. Hi, Isaac. Anyone ever tell you that? No, that's the first time. That's your first question. You get no more questions unless you have my Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. But yeah, so he's skating on it. He's skating on very thin ice right now. With his latest DUI, driving under an influence. It's just really sad. He probably is gonna have to have, if he already doesn't, have to in place. I've actually been in a vehicle with it. They have the apparatus that shows you whether you can you blow into it like it's like a breathalyzer, and it shows if you can operate the car or not. It's pretty serious. I don't know if he has that in place. I don't know if that has been the case with him, but these DUIs keep mounting up, and it's just very distressing to me. I just think it's just it's a really sad situation because he he has so much talent. He had talent. He's a 6'10". I think he was a power forward or a forward, and he just was one of the best. He was one of the best on the court. Lamar Odom. He was a pretty decent player, and he played with the late great Kobe Bean Bryant. Rocking power to him. Um, Reminds me of Russell Simmons. I'll take that as a compliment. Hi, what is that? Hennessy Martinez. Okay, good to go. Hi. I like how people just say hi. It's funny. Hi, hi, hi. What is this? The Silent Hand. I'm from superpower Muslim country Pakistan. I'm looking for my third wife. Please marry me. True love. Okay. You're very confused. You might want to go to another site. You might want to go to another live. I'm not the person to help you with that. So that's probably another live for you. No room for you. No room for you. Like Gigi Allen said. I'm not going to say rock and power to him. Oh, man. So, but back to Lamar Odom. I mean, it's just a super shame. Has it all. He has everything. He has the women. He's got the money. He's got the mind. He's got a mind for things. If he started these clinics around California, now I'd imagine he has the mind for creating new things and making sure new things are built up around the metropolitan area, and probably across the state, across the country, across the world. Why can't he go local and global at the same time? I mean, I've been in on I've sat in on AA on AA various AA meetings. There's the word, the N word. Meetings, and they're just really boring and sad. They're just sad and boring. There's coffee. There's the church wooden folding metal folding chairs. They're all in a circle. Hi, my name is Lamar Odom, and I'm an alcoholic. Hi Lamar, and he goes around his story. And it's like really sad. I really feel for these people because it's just like these meetings are super boring, which is probably by design. They make them like super boring so they can not have the idea of being having a party, having a good time. It's like this is very serious. This is about your health. We're here to help you. We're here to ensure that you are taken care of, that you have the proper address to all this. So, what is this? DEE. No Cole Jones 4367. Okay, thanks, No Cole. But yeah, so it's something very it's something very strong. It's a strong way of showing oneself. It's a strong way of crafting a life for yourself as a sober person. Sobriety. That's the name of the game. Sobriety. I'm sober. I have to take psych drugs. I take psychiatric medication or meds or whatever they want to call it. I like to call them drugs. That's just the hell they are. But I take psych drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't use any recreational drugs or anything like that. Only psych drugs. No wreck, just Meg. But that's the so that is a very serious situation when you have somebody that's on, on the wagon and then they're off the wagon. They're on the wagon, then they're off the wagon. I think Lamar Odom is going back and forth. He's gone back and forth off of it. But I do agree with the more health and wellness centers. That's a really good sign. As there's usually a church or a liquor store on every corner, and I wouldn't support the church so much as the liquor store because it's legal, it's catered to adults, it's okay, it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with churches in context. I mean, there's something wrong with churches, obviously, because it's mysticism and supernaturalism and irrational. But freedom of speech, freedom of expression, that's what they want to do on some site. You can't really knock them for that. You have to have enough stamina to meet the challenges of what it means to be a fighter in this war, in this battle with the bottle. So if he has more places where he can benefit from, he can get money from greedily. He can get more money. That would be beautiful. So I'm just gonna see if he has any other ones. I'm not seeing it. Where is it? This is crazy. I just saw it. It's on here somewhere, damn it. Oh, this is some bull. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm looking for it right now. I'm trying to find it, but in the meantime, yeah, the wellness centers will be so much more of a boost and a boon. So I think that is like really Lamar Odom. I see now they're messing me up now. Oh, they're really messing me up. This is messed up. This is messed up. I did a whole story on Lamar Odom. Now they're trying to say I don't have it. Okay. Lamar Odom. He was in Las Vegas at the time. It's not showing. This is crazy. This is I had this on lock. I could have sworn. Where the hell did it go? It just disappeared. Lamar Odom was arrested for driving under the influence in Las Vegas early on Saturday morning. But like, why? Why? His son died from SID, sudden infant death syndrome, in 2006. It occurred while he was sleeping in his crib, a tragedy that profoundly impacted Odom and contributed to his later struggle with addiction. So that's the, there's usually a root. There's usually some cause, something from childhood, something that happened in your adulthood. That's usually going to be the case, no matter what. That's going to be the issue. Something that happens. It doesn't give you, license to do it just because you lost your son or you were molested or something like that. Doesn't give you license to do it. Doesn't give you the right to do it. To do DUIs. You don't have a right to. You have a right to drink. You have a right to do that. It doesn't mean you can poison yourself and kill yourself with alcoholism sitting in your basement. That's fine legally, not really morally or spiritually, but it is okay legally. You can literally kill yourself with alcohol and drugs if you so choose. All right, this is funny. This is really funny. So I'm just going to look at this. Slapped with 2 violations. He's still in custody. I think he just got out. Not 2016, it was 2015. He nearly died of an overdose. I keep saying 2016. It was 2015. It was almost over 10 years ago, over a decade ago. God bless Mr. Magic. Who's Mr. Magic? QQZ, QQZMT 249. All right. That's interesting. Odom, who played for 4 teams across a 14-year NBA career, committed himself to sobriety in recent years. Excuse me. And even offered help to others struggling with addiction, like Bam Margera. There's several rehabilitation centers he owns. He owns these rehabilitation centers. This is the future, children. Because all drugs will be legalized, I think, by 2050. I think we're going to get maybe not an objectivist, but a libertarian candidate that's for, illicit drugs and stuff like that. I'd rather see an objectivist candidate, but that's probably going to be for another, 50 to 100 years, not just a few, almost 20, a little over 20 years. He's going to be, he or she is going to be, I should say, more attuned to the libertarian crowd, which libertarian is a catch-all, anything goes, everything is everything, nothing even matters kind of thing. There's nothing to say. There's no standards. There's no protocol. There's no specific guidelines and different, ways of being a libertarian. You can be an atheist and libertarian. You can be a Muslim libertarian. You can be a anarcho-capitalist, which is there's no such thing as an anarcho-capitalist, but they can call themselves that. There's so many different ways that you can be a libertarian, but there's one way you can be an objectivist. That's follow the outline of the philosophy of Ayn Rand. That's it. That's the only thing you can be as an objectivist. There's one way. But anyway, so he has this was what I was thinking of. Somebody, he clued me in. Lamar Odom. He owns clinics. He owns different ones, rehab centers. I would imagine they're in California. It doesn't show it here though. There's a TMZ documentary called TMZ presents Lamar Odom, Sex, Drugs, and Kardashians. Pretty crazy. Some crazy, goofy stuff. But yeah, so he's definitely skating on a different plane. He's on a different level of recovery because he relapsed. I mean, he's probably been drinking a lot, and he just said, "Let me get into my Lambo or my Ferrari or something like my Rari or my Lambo or something like that, the Guinea or the Rari." I don't know what it was. I'm just putting some sauce on it. I don't know what kind of vehicle he was in. It doesn't say in any of the reports. It's still under investigation. But I still hold that was my mindset. Have private clinics available for drug addicts and alcoholics. That's beautiful. Have that wonderful way of greed, of selfishness, of making money off of somebody's not even their pain, but I mean it might be pain at the beginning trying to get off of the drugs or the alcohol, but it's not you're not profiting off of pain, you're not profiting off of that. You're profiting off of them improving themselves, getting better, getting well. That's the whole point of these clinics. And I would advocate for them fully. Like I said, there's a liquor store in every corner, there's a church on every other corner. Why can't there be a rehab center on every other corner? We're definitely going to need it because there's going to be people that are going to be. I can just see it. Weed is not enough, and President Trump getting rid of Maduro, and it's not going to put a dent in the demand for cocaine and other drugs that are smuggled into this country every single day, every single day. And then they have those special photo ops with the cops. And I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but I did. They got them like this, and they're showing like huge, kilos of coke and stuff like that. Probably worth, I don't know, 100 million to $200 million or something. The case might be. Just like tons of keys, like 1,000 keys of cocaine, stacked up. And they get bonuses. The DA gets bonuses. They get promoted, based on how many kilograms they have captured. And of course there's the boats. There's the boats that get blown up in the middle of the water and the Atlantic. It's just a messy world, messy game. All drugs should be completely. All drugs should be completely legal. Every single drug, absolutely. Heroin, methamphetamines, opioids, fentanyl, everything, all of it should be drug. It should be catered to 17-year-olds and up. That's it. 17. If you're 17, you should be able to if you're able to put a rifle in a 17-year-old's hand and say, "Go fight this war," then you should be able to. That 17-year-old should also be able to say, "I'm not fighting ish. I'm sitting back and I'm hitting this bag of skag between my toes and having a good time." That's what I feel like doing. So that's just me. You can disagree all you want, but I think that's true. I think that's right. I think that's the impetus for creating a better America. And if you make a better America, you make a better world. Every time America sneezes, the world catches a cold. We're the one that run the ish. We're the most powerful, the richest. But not even just that, we're the noblest. We have the most morality. Because we're a constitutional republic based off of an idea. We're based off of ideas, not nationalistic or racial or tribal or faith-based ideas. Ideas that said that that's still in contention, still have to be fought over. It has to be fought over. we're still in that mode right now. Jacqueline Palmer 4803. Wow, okay. I am not Jesus. No. That's your first question. That's your last before you gotta pay for it. But this is just it's just, I think it's beautiful. Clinics all over the place. For every 3 mile radius, there should be 4 clinics at least. There should be 4 addiction and alcoholism. And I guess you can say alcohol is a drug, so you can say it's also an addiction. They just make the distinction. They say AA, Alcoholic Anonymous, and they say NA, I think it's Narcotics Anonymous. That's just the reality. Well, there you go, Donald Gibson. You just answered your own. You just had your own question answered. Now you have to pay up. If you want me to answer that question, Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Yes, Jacqueline is definitely trolling very hard. I'm not mad at Jacqueline. Thank you for the trolling. I needed that trollage. Super trollage. So. Oh, it's Sanskrit? I didn't even realize that. I think you're still trolling, but that's funny. I think you're still trolling. But yeah, so Lamar Odom owning, rehabilitation clinics. And the irony is that he can't even stay off the alcohol and stay away from driving. Sick, twisted irony, sad. You expect somebody that owns these clinics to be super clean, so sober, got it together, doesn't have to, worry about being stopped by the cops. That's just the reality. But so that's the truth anyhow. That's just the way it goes. I do applaud him though. I do applaud him. If only he would just listen to his own advice or to his own intentions. They say intentions pave the way to hell or something. How's it go? Good intentions pave the way to hell, I think is how it goes, something like that. But very serious stuff, very sad, situation he's in. He's on drugs and alcohol. He's got his own rehab center, so he can check into his own rehab center and not have to worry about insurance or paying or anything, I would imagine. Or maybe he does. Maybe he does have to worry about insurance. But there's his own clinics, so he should be able to be accommodated for everything that he's been able to go through. And he has a long slog. He has a long fight. It's a long fight. And that's just classic. Oh, well, he's a millionaire. Oh, well, he had one of the, most sought after women in the world. He had, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's not anything to do with anything. Money, women, cars and clothes, even clinics. They don't prevent you from being, part of the problem. The solution is to be consistent, and to compose oneself, and to deliver on the promise that you're always going to be ahead of the game and not behind, no matter what and no matter who may be influencing you. Okay, that was the first story. All right, so next story is very, very, very interesting, very intriguing story. This young woman, she she had planned her wedding. She planned her wedding, and her name is Todd Henson. Her fiance, William Coney, died unexpectedly from a heart attack at age 42 last November. The pair were set to be wed in May. But here's the kicker. She was trying to recoup the money or refund, get a refund for the money she had put in. I think it was like $7,500. Um, and the Florida wedding venue, Crystal Ball, is refusing to give her money because she didn't realize that, all sales are final. That's it. There's unless you have insurance, then you really have no say. You have nothing to back it up. What would have been had. Um, it's sad, and I'm not trying to clown her, but I'm just saying it's very important. She said, I know contracts. I know what I was in, but she obviously didn't know enough about contracts. Baby girl, she didn't know. She didn't have the idea. She didn't have the clue. As to why, you know, um, she couldn't get the refund. But there's been a GoFundMe already in place. It's to raise money. Already $4,480 have been raised. A set goal of 5,000. But I'm just wondering where the extra, what is that? $2,500 is coming from. It was $7,500 from my understanding. $7,600. Not 75. So where's the next $2,600 coming from? I don't know. I don't know if she has to start a new GoFundMe. But the owner of Crystal Ballroom of Lake Mary, he's been the first. He's been the highest donor to put up money, $525 in donations. And he said it made it with no affiliation with the wedding venue he owns. What a story. I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad. But like I said, she's probably gonna figure out a way to get the money back up. She's gonna figure out to cover the loss. Um, she may not get the refund, but she'll be able to cover the costs. Hilson paid the venue $2,000 when she first booked in August 2025, and later paid an additional $5,609. The last payment she made was 2 days before Coney's death. Hinton secured cancellations and refunds from all the other vendors she worked with to help plan the ceremony and reception, despite those companies also having non-refund policy. See, this is the thing, though. He's the owner, Rakowski, Lucas Rakowski, said, we're not like the cake maker. We're not like the, people that made the dress or doing hair and it's a totally different set of structural indicators that make up for what they do, what the whole idea is for weddings. That's the reality of it all. So they're enforcing a non-refundable policy and refused to return $1,000 Hinton and Coney gave them for their wedding day. It's just sad. That's a sad story. There's no winners here. I just wanted to point it out because it's so interesting, and it's a cautionary tale. It's nonfiction, so I can say this as a cautionary tale. It's very sad. The male, her fiance died unexpectedly, suddenly, at the age of 42 of a heart attack, which is weird to me because it's going to be only 4 years from this year. I'll be 38. That's only be 4 years from where I am. Am I going to get a heart attack? What did he have? Did they have pork chops in the skillet? They have 3 slabs of bacon every morning, and eggs and pastry every morning. Did that happen? But Ty Henson, yeah, she was just saying how it's the suggestion that they could have done was have a memorial here on their wedding day. That's not giving too much solace. I don't think that doesn't assuage her. That doesn't present any kind of proper recompense. She may not get the fiscal recompense, but the honorary recompense. That's not going to do well either. That's not enough to hold on to in the first place to do that. So Crystal Ballroom, the owner Lucas Rakowski, he said anyone who books with the venue of its he said he informed anyone who books with the venue of its refund policy, and also encourages them to purchase cancellation insurance from third-party providers. He did express sympathy for Henson's unimaginable loss, so he at least had some compassion. He didn't have to. You can be like completely like that's on you, lady. That's your fault. I would have respected that, but he has compassion. He actually said that, like I said earlier, he put up the most money for a GoFundMe account. So that's just one to go with. That's a good light. That's a good sign. There's still humanity in the world. Being selfish. It's a selfish move. People say, "Oh, he's very selfless. He's unselfish. He's altruistic. He's doing it for the common good. He's doing it for himself. He's doing it selfishly, primarily, to not out of guilt either, not out of shame or not out of, oh boy, I don't think I really explained to her the refund policy or something like that. Let me put up this money. No, he was just like, hey, look, this is a very strenuous and hard situation right now. I'm gonna do whatever I can to try to take down the levels of of terror that may be going on in your mind, because he died so unexpectedly, and you're about to get married. Like it's horrific. That's just awful. So I definitely wouldn't take his side, take her side too. I understand. I'll be bipartisan on this. That's your first question. Can I borrow $20? Can you give me $50? We can call it $30. How about you give me $20? I'm on here working. This is work for me. I have to put in work. Can I borrow $20? Can you earn $20? Can you be an editor on my shows or something like that? Speedy or Speed Bizzle? That's my question. Can I get $30? Can I get $100? Can I get $1,000? You coming on my show ask for money? I don't do ish, but I've studied various articles and various news stories, and I regurgitate it out into a customizable form. But I don't do ish. Please tell me how I don't do ish. Please tell me on my own show how I don't do ish. That's what I thought. You got scared. Go back to your hole. You're a little child. All right, so moving on from that, this is a very contentious situation. Eugene Harris, are you laughing at me? What's so funny? What's so funny? Am I a clown? Do I make you laugh? What is this Are You Jesus stuff? That's your first question? A guy asked if you were Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought you were asking. I was like, yeah, a guy asked if I was Jesus. That's just weird. People are strange on these internet streets. I swear. People are weirdos. So, this is a very it's just a sad situation all the way around. It just really gets at your mind. I always say, oh, it's my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart. My heart goes out. My heart goes out. What the hell does that mean? How does your heart go out? Your mind goes out. You don't think with your heart. You think with your mind. That's the power. You have to have a mind for all this. So I would say, um, what's your name? Ty Henson. Ty Henson's life was supposed to take a totally different course. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of her life. Instead, it turned into complete tragedy last November when Coney unexpectedly died. That is, it's extremely sad. Extremely sad story. Now Henson says the wedding venue that the two set to tie the knot at is enforcing a non-refundable policy and refuses to return the thousands of dollars Henson and Coney gave them for their wedding day. Now, I agree with that. That's business. That's business. You have to respect their business. I don't think she read the fine print. I really don't think so. She says, "Oh yeah, I can handle contracts." Henson and Coney were set to get married in May of this year. The pair had met more than 20 years ago and had long decided to get married in Central Florida, signing a contract with the venue and paying a sizable administrative fee. I called the venue 2 days after he passed away to make them aware, Henson told Orlando News 6. This wasn't like a cancellation. This was a person dying. Yes, true, sad, very sad that her fiance died, but that's not their fault. They're not liable for his death. So whatever parameters they had in place to begin with, that's on her. She has to deal with that. She can't get her money back because of the fact that they have non-refundable policies. If you have those policies in place, you kind of have to abide by them. There's no going around it. There's no going through it. There's no going high to get over, too low to get under. You're stuck in the middle. She's stuck in the middle. And it's sad. I'm not trying to clown her, but I'm just saying you got to read the fine print. You got to read every aspect of these contracts. She may not have seen that it was non-refundable. The venue, this Crystal Ballroom of Lake Mary, is an all-inclusive event space. Due to established company policy, the venue opted not to void the contract they had entered into with Hinton and instead kept the $7,600 she had previously paid. According to Hinton, an unidentified venue employee offered to host an alternative event for her. That's what you get anyway, right? According to Hinton, an unidentified venue employee offered to host an alternative event for her. Her suggestion was maybe you could do a memorial here on your wedding day. That was wedding day. That is it. An unimaginable loss. Bum was in the house. Kendrick Lamar Odom. That was our first story, sir. We've moved on. We moved on. But salute to you. I salute to Bumba. Bumba is a day one. Been riding with me for probably 2 or 3 years now. Almost 3 years. I started in, it's going to be 3 years in April since I started this show. That is definitely business. That's business protocol. That's business happenings. When you say non-refundable, they mean non-refundable. They mean that you shouldn't be belly aching or boo-hooing. Sadly, I'm trying to be light. But over, the fact that you can't get the money back from
Try to be love radio edit by some
what the
and Zara Taylor.
But yeah, so that is, the reality of that. That's just the nature of business. You have to respect the dollar. You have to respect the dollar. You have to respect the fact that even in death, and maybe especially in death, money, becomes an issue. I remember when my mother died, we didn't have money to bury her. There was hardly any money. My grandmother, I think, and her friend put up money. She had a very low rent funeral. It was nothing too special, no memorial, and she was just buried in a regular casket. And yeah, so that's just part of business. If you can't afford, if you don't read the fine print, if you don't look at, whatever the case is, you get, the lowest level of accommodations. You get the lowest level of help and administrative concerns, or you won't get a refund. And this is the case with Miss Henson. Miss Henson's, saying that, she didn't get enough enough repayment. She didn't get paid back. And so, I didn't say enough at all. She didn't get any money back at all. But like I said, I doubt that Lucas Rakowski, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't do it altruistically. I hope he didn't do it altruistically. I hope he did it just based on, circumstances being so crucial and it's so horrific. The idea of a couple about to get married and then one of them, drops dead. That's very, horrific. It's very, terrifying, in a sense. Um, months ahead of the ceremony, and they're preparing, for a life together. It just shakes you to the core. It's very sad. And that is, Miss Henson's story, because she wanted to, she tried desperately to get the refund. She didn't get it. And therefore she took off on her own. That's the whole point. That's the whole point, that she got the GoFundMe page up, studying on that. I have 2 viewers and 2 likes, by the way, so I'm not mad. It was up to 24 people on here. Then it went down. Cash Fire, how you doing, girl? Salute, girl, how you doing? And she said, "Hey, Saunders, liking you in the white bright colors." Yeah, this is my Sunday best. On Sundays, I wear what I wore to church. I'm an atheist that goes to church with his dad. Go figure. But salute to you, girl. Appreciate it. Sunday service with Sky. Exactly. 3 people, 3 likes. Not mad. I'm happy at this. This is good. Can we get 30,000 people with 30,000 likes? Let's get to that level. But that's just the truth. That's just, sadly, people of our color, as they say, they don't read the fine print. Negroes, coloreds, they don't read the fine print. Yes, I'm an atheist spy. Exactly. That's exactly what I am. I go into the church, and I see, look around, and I listen to the word up front and live and in person, because you can get online. I could stay at home and watch the service online, but it's a totally different feel when people are dapping you up and hugging you and sitting by you and bunched together in a space. It's totally different. I'm an atheist spy. That's a great point. Great clarification. Great point, Bumba. Great insight. I'm a spy. I'm a mole. I'm a mole for the Christians, for atheists who want to know what it's like in the Christian church. It says a spy who achieves over a long period an important position within the security defenses of a country. I'm a mole. Infidel! Yes, I'm an infidel. I'm an infidel. Mole for atheist. What is it? Ratheism? Ratheism? What is that? Is that what you meant to put, Bumba? Mole for ratheism? But no, I just, this story just shook me, because I was just like, damn, she didn't read that fine print. She should have said, you know what, I'm not going to be able to get my fund. I'm not going to get that refund. That's all she had to say. Instead, she was steady working on, but my husband died. I know, that's sad. We had nothing to do with that. We didn't kill him. You signed the contract. It takes you back to social network. You signed a contract against your own company. Like that's what happened. Eduardo Saverin, he signed a contract, and he won in a lot of ways. A lot of ways he won. He won because he got, like, he didn't say it, but I think the obvious thing is, of course, he went to Brazil where he didn't have to pay any taxes on the money, or very little taxes on $3 billion that he got from Mark Zuckerberg. Way more than a reported amount of money, which is still good money, which is crazy how we talk about money. But the Winklevoss twins, they only got $55 million. And $55 million, I think, just fell out of Mark Zuckerberg's pocket. He had to pick it up. I think he has a $55 million check that just flew out of his wallet, and he's just trying to, and it kind of just went away. He didn't even have to worry about it. But anyway, it's all in contracts. It's all about business. It's all about money. It's sad, but it's true. And really, it's not that sad. It's just true. Be prepared. Note the specific stipulations of contracts. Note the non-refundability of contracts. That's all you have to do. Take note. Be aware. Take things seriously. That's the key to all of this. And I hope Miss Hinton learned a lesson. She's going to look at every contract for her house, for a car, for a house, for whatever the case may be. That's the first things that we want to think about: cars and houses. For her, not her 501c3, things of that nature. So that is the truth anyhow, as they say. Truth anyhow. Look over your statements. Look over your budgeting. She may call a lawyer. I doubt, she'll be able to win. I seriously doubt she will be able to win. She calls a lawyer, it could mean that, she's going to pay more in expenses towards the lawyer than it was when, read the labels, It's going to cost more for her, to have a lawyer than we'll have to get the money back. So that's why I think she has to GoFundMe. Like I said, it was $7,600, and then the GoFundMe is only $5,000. So I don't understand what happened there. Can't you do more than $5,000 on GoFundMe? Am I mistaken? It's at over $4,400 right now. Pretty heavy stuff, but that's something to go with. But hey, I'd like to thank everybody that came out and went up to 24 today and went up to 15 and 11. I'm probably going to get to like 102 views, maybe 1 or 2 subscribers, maybe, if that. But I do appreciate it. I'm steadily growing. My views keep going. My view hours keep going down. It's pretty messy. I'm trying to wait for that day where, like, I had the 9,000 views for Diddy and 6,000 views for Dame Dash. So I'm just waiting on that part. Cam up on Star Show. If I feel like it. If I don't feel like it, I'm not camming up on the show. I'm not going to cam up just to cam up. I have to really understand the situation that he is talking about. The topic he said came up. He didn't say came up to me. He speaks to me through text message and phone calls. So he didn't say it to me. Not recently. He has in the past. But like I said, thank you all. I appreciate you, and I will see you sometime tomorrow. Take care. Oh, he said your name on the show. Oh, he said a name on the show. All right, cool. I'll see you about it next time he goes live. All right, take care.